Hey everyone, we are joined by Roma today from Fife Gingerbread, and yes, another one of our little 5-minute get to know yous. So Roma, do you want to just kind of kick us off and tell us a little bit about yourself and the organisation?
Yes, I do. So my name is Roma Crawford and I am a volunteer coordinator for Fife Gingerbread. Fife Gingerbread are a charity who work only in Fife, so we're a very local charity. And we generally, what we do is we support lone parents and families in need in Fife, and we do that in lots of different ways with different projects that we have running and also with the support of volunteers.
Okay, so how would people kind of get involved then? What sort of services do you sort of have and how would they get them?
Okay, so there's two sides to it. They could choose to volunteer with Fife Gingerbread and there's different opportunities. You could choose to do some fundraising, and Fife College have actually been really involved in a previous fundraising we did through a fashion show. You could do fundraising just as an individual or as a group. You could become what's called a project volunteer, which is maybe doing some slightly more informal volunteering, maybe helping out with groups. Now, obviously, they're not running at the moment, but we also have things like we are providing meals during holidays and things for families. We sometimes look for volunteers to come and help us do some cooking or help us do some delivering with that. And then there is also buddy volunteering, which means you go out and you support a family in the community who are maybe struggling with isolation or poor mental health. And it's giving them someone, an ear basically, someone to talk to. They might be needing a wee bit of help about around structure in their lives, or to get them out and about, just to get them out for a coffee, get them introduced into society again. So these are the kind of opportunities that you've got as a volunteer. But we also have the other side of it, which is you might know, or you might be someone who needs a wee bit extra support from us as an organisation. So it's a twofold thing.
Yeah. So you could come to for help, or you could sort of volunteer and help those that are already on there. Do you we've had you guys in for a couple of our last sort of freshers and different events and stuff. How long have you been going and sort of doing this?
So we started in 1987. I know, do you know, and it just seems like yesterday we celebrated 30 years, but actually it was now 3 years ago.
Wow.
We had a big event to celebrate. So we have been working in the Fife community since 1987, and we were actually started by volunteers. So some lone parents got together in the Methil and Leavenmouth area, and basically put a study together and applied for funding and got their first support worker. So yes, we've been on the go for that long. And we have different projects that work in different parts of Fife. So not all parts of Fife are covered. North East Fife isn't covered. But basically the rest of Fife is covered in some way or another by 1 or 2 or 3 projects.
Amazing. So if somebody, that section that's not covered at the minute though, if somebody wanted to, for example, come in and volunteer and that was their local area, could there be a thing set up there, a project set up?
We wouldn't be setting a project up in North East Fife, but we do have some volunteers, mostly fundraising volunteers from North East Fife. We have a really good connection with the uni up there in St Andrews. But we also have some volunteers who are willing to travel somewhere else. So they might be willing to travel down into Leven, for example, to do some support. Or they can also do some virtual support, and that's something we started up during COVID. When we couldn't see, people would be either maybe to support this way on a face-to-face basis through Zoom or something like that, or by telephone as well.
Amazing. I think it's really interesting and so great how a whole bunch of organisations have managed to adapt to moving all of these things online and being able to still kind of connect with people. Would you say that a lot of your stuff just now is still primarily online, or are you kind of starting to reintegrate back into society now that we're allowed out to do little bits and bobs?
Yeah, we actually started to go out and about a bit before the end of lockdown. we were classified as workers who could do that towards the end. So we did things like delivered little pamper packages, some activities for kids, things like that. So although we couldn't go out and do support work per se, we still did have that contact. As things have eased a wee bit, we're doing much more one-to-one. We have to be careful if we only go into houses if it's an emergency. So during the summer, it wasn't too bad. We could do garden visits. Maybe not so much now. We could do walks. We can meet in cafes as well. So the volunteers have started to do that. They have moved from perhaps online or phone contact to meeting someone or a family or a parent that they support back in a cafe again. So we've not gone back to group work because obviously we can't do that at the moment. And what we'll do is we'll just move with whatever changes there are. We will move with the changes as and when they happen.
Amazing. That's so great. So I suppose the next logical question then, Roma, is with all of this wonderful information, how would people contact you to get involved? What is the best way to do that? Okay,
well, it's really, really easy to refer yourself in either as someone who wants to be a volunteer or someone who needs a wee bit extra support. So we have an office phone number, and I'm going to look down because I've had to write it down because I can never remember it. And it's 01592 725 210. But we also have a website. Now, the website at the moment is being updated, but the website is still there. So you can contact us via social media or email. It is incredibly easy to contact us.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, unless you have anything else that you want to share with us, I think that's a pretty good kind of breakdown of everything that you do and how people can benefit. So thank you.
You're welcome. And if anybody's got any questions, they just have to drop us a wee message and someone will give them a call and chat with them. So if they're interested in volunteering and they're not sure whether they want to commit or not, just give us a wee shout. We'll contact you, either speak to you by phone or meet you in a cafe somewhere and have a wee chat with you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time today, Roma, to come on and do this. It has been very educational for myself and hopefully for the students as well, and will be beneficial. So yes, make sure you have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.